This time around on Author's Corner, I'm so pleased to welcome to the show Mitzi Beach. She has such a vibrant personality, so I'm not surprised she is aces, one of the best when it comes to interior design. She's done that really her whole life with remodeling, architecturally, you name it. I think she could probably do it for sure. And her book is called The Door to Restoration. Restoration, Renovation, Renewal. I love that. So, Mitzi, thanks for coming on Author's Corner here in America tonight with me, Kate Delaney. How are you?
Oh, I am so excited to share the message of my book that I really believe will help a lot of people.
So, what's different about this book? You've written a couple of others. What made you write this book? What was the motivation?
Well, it was the purpose of this book actually was I was during a life stage change. We had experienced empty nest, and I was drowning. Oh, you got to be kidding. Okay. I was experiencing empty nest, and no one was relating to these life stages. And I was, oh man, I couldn't, my friends were elated when their kids left. I was drowning. I mean, and then there were the books from all these women experts were like, this is your time, reunite with your husband, do new adventures. I was like, no, I miss my kids. And this was during a time, Kate, when I had an extremely successful design business. I wasn't lost with nothing to do. So then I knew that I could not possibly be alone here. So that was part of it. And our house was not working. We had 3 bedrooms from 3 kids. They were empty. And we had a family room big. We had all these things that just were not why. And so I said to Bob, hey, let's look at a smaller house that we can fix up. Little did he know what we were going to get into with this 1930s Rent-A-Wreck. And so God love him. He plowed and we did it.
Wow. And that's a big transition to say, and especially for the kids too, because a lot of times kids, when they come back, even if it's twice a year,
that's right.
They want their room. They want
the
familiar. So you had to tell everyone, you had to get everybody on board. What was that process like?
And they weren't, Kate. And that's part of what I write about. It's like we have to live our own lives and we will never please anyone. And, I'm not a crass person, but I want to say, get over it. You had the life, and now we have to move forward. And when they saw how happy and what we were doing, they were thrilled for us. But as you're insinuating, it took a while.
Yeah, and I think about this. I think about your experiences. Like you said, you're thriving in your career, and then you're making this move. And you made a move too. So how did you pick the house that you picked, and then decide to make that leap away to a different state?
Well, not to give it away, but my book tells that in the last chapter. So we had a life crisis, and this house was not going to work for us.
So you had to make the move. You were saying to yourself, we got to make this move.
Yeah. And so we had no intentions of doing that. This was our end of houses. But the one thing I really stress for women is not to go into that despondent resignation of, is this all there is? And that was one of the impetus for me writing this book, because many women think they are stuck. And no, we're never stuck if we can get a grip on how to move forward and what to do next And like you said, how'd your kids, how'd people feel? You can't go there. Another example of that is this house was so bad that everybody thought we were crazy. And so we called Bob Jonah, doing the ark, because nobody knew what Jonah knew. And nobody knew our vision or believed in it. And so, this was a couple years. And we knew people were literally laughing about us. Many thought we had lost our ever-loving minds. And so we had to deal with that, gossip. And my interior design is an image business, right? And so when people were ditzing on me and saying, oh, what has she done? So I had to keep pumping myself up that, yes, this will be okay. And it was, when it turned out to be this magnificent after, which it incidentally is why there's 40 pictures of before and after, because you have to have vision no matter what you're doing in life. If you don't have a vision and a hope that that could happen, that's where that despondent resignation comes in. So when people would come, and we had many tours, because we also built it as an aging in place home, because like I said, we were going to be there forever. But they would come through. One tour for ASID, American Society of Interior Designers, there were 500 people that went through our house. And they were like almost frustrated. Like, well, this isn't an aging in place house. Well, hello, that's the key. It's not supposed to look that way. But we assume we're going to just stay in our houses forever without changing a thing. So that was really part of why I did the book also, was to explore possibilities for people, and lots of design tips, space planning, lighting, all kinds of things, and how to prepare yourself for when the budget goes haywire. Lots and lots and lots of design, along with, oh my gosh, what do we do now? When you're in a historic home, you have no plans. And so there's that.
I love there's a chapter in part 3 where it's remodeling, restoring, and renewing Bob and Mitzi, because it's also the two of you and how tough that can be, right? Yes.
And it was that stage in life, at 25, 30 years of age, that's the most dangerous, the most statistically more couples divorce at that stage. And for lots of reasons, we won't talk about that here yet, but for us, it was finances, empty nest. We were seriously questioning whether we were going to make it. And so this was part of the whole thing. And we had to just really get down to the nitty gritty. One of the examples I used in there, the whole book is a metaphor between what we were, what we can be when the Lord gets a hold of us and, shakes the stuffing out of us and said, get a grip. And so we had to get a grip or we weren't going to make it. And I likened it to, you get paint chips. And so you think, oh, I'll just dab it. And it'll look good. Well, pretty soon that not thorough fixing shows the chip again. And so I use the example that unless you get down to the nitty gritty, the bare wood, sanding it, repainting, doing all of that, it's just going to keep coming back. It's like a splinter or whatever that, it's not gone. And so that was tough. That was really tough while all this was going on. And I write, honestly, we ran out of money. We were like there. And so that was when I said, Bob, we have to do the porch. We had a screened-in porch. We lived on that screened-in porch. And I can't believe it, but we made it. He made it happen. So, Bob honored me so much doing this project, and I will never, I dedicate this to him for 1,000 reasons.
Absolutely. The name of the book again is The Door to Restoration, Restoration, Renovation, Renewal. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. When people read the book, and it is a beautiful book, when people read the book and you're saying it, Mitzi, what do you hope they take away?
Yes. I want to get to those people that are, like I said, they're in that despondent resignation. I want people to believe, I have such a passion, Kate, that they will believe that nothing is ever permanent if they keep their hope alive. They keep their faith and they don't give up. The whole key is the hope that if you keep going, this page is going to turn, no pun intended. But it has to be doggedly, determination, tenacity, perseverance, and you will get to where you're supposed to be.
I love it. That's the perfect place to end this. Mitzi Beach, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I enjoyed this. Thank you for the opportunity.